Tonight on 7 News, working on the water. Divers enter the Grass River in Messina, while in Turin, millions of dollars are on its way to the village to repair its drinking water system. Plus, an update from the CEO of 2 North Country hospitals continuing to deal with the damage from a cybersecurity data attack. But first, the latest on the proposed Hovey Island expansion project. The town of Henderson voting tonight. We have the results and reaction from the meeting. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Zach Grady. Garrett Domblewski is off this evening. The Hovey Island expansion project, which could create a maximum of 117 cabins on the island, approved tonight by the Town of Henderson Town Board. Sun Outdoors has been planning to expand on Association Island and its campsites to neighboring Hovey's Island. The idea has been controversial, with some town residents who claim the expansion will have a negative impact on the environment, as well as causing more traffic. The town has made compromises in an attempt to ease concerns, including not allowing RVs or other similar vehicles on the site. The board also approved a resolution to change the zoning of Hovey Island from an island district to a planned development district. Board member Matt Owens, who voted against both resolutions, claims tonight's specific zoning change was not a part of October's public hearing.
Really what it boils down to, and I still don't agree with this, and I don't think it's right, that we are potentially acting on a local law tonight without the benefit of a public hearing on the local law.
Both votes passed 4-1. Town Supervisor Ed Glazer declined to speak to 7 News after Thursday's meeting about the vote. Carthage Area Hospital and Claxton Hepburn Medical Center are taking legal action after discovering where their stolen data has been stored. 7 News spoke with hospital CEO Rich Duvall to learn what the next steps are as they try to get their data back.
Are you dealing with this on some level every day?
Almost.
This past summer's cyber attack on Claxton Hepburn Medical Center in Ogdensburg and Carthage Area Hospital consumes CEO Rich Duvall's day-to-day job. The hackers demanded money, or patient and employee personal data would have been made public. No ransom was paid. To date, 30 patients' data have been breached, revealing their names, phone numbers, and why they were at the hospital.
30 out of what? What could it have been? I mean,
millions.
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 The severity limited because of the hospital's tech team catching the hackers in the act and being able to stop them.
I think without that, it could have been much, much worse.
The hospitals and FBI have discovered where the stolen data was stored. The hospital is now taking legal action, filing documents in late November indicating the stolen data was stored on a server owned by Wasabi Technologies in Boston, Massachusetts.
They're there storing data, they just don't know that it's stolen data.
Correct.
The data doesn't just belong to Claxton and Carthage. There are other pieces of stolen data from other entities as well. The legal move by Duvall, he says, should help the local hospital separate out its own data and get it back, and also prevent that data from being accessed by anyone else and have all copies destroyed.
So the best option explored by our legal team, our consultants, and working with the FBI is actually going after that company and trying to get our data, secluded data, so that way we can be sure what information was leaked.
The legal paperwork does indicate Wasabi is cooperating with the FBI. So now the hospitals continue to rebuild its systems. Most are recovered. Duvall admits, though, there are still glitches. And while not paying the ransom, dealing with the hack almost daily has to be costly. With rebuilding a system, paying lawyers, working the IT team, and having consultants. Duvall says most of these expenses are covered by cyber insurance, a move made by the hospitals more than a decade ago.
That was Jeff Cole reporting. We'll head over to Jon Kubis now in the Weather Center. John, it looks a lot more like San Francisco out there than Watertown with all of this fog.
Kind of foggy and very mild as well, Zach. Considering the time of year, we should be a lot colder than we are and a lot colder than we have been. All right, a couple things I am watching. A dense fog advisory in effect for a good portion of the North Country anyways. We'll talk more about that later on in the show. Rain tonight, rain tomorrow, but falling temperatures late tomorrow and Saturday morning means we'll see a little bit of snow in the area, and it looks like that snow should wind on down late Saturday morning, and I think the weekend's going to be mainly dry. All right, let's check the maps. First weather brought to you by Doors Plus at Adams Center. A couple of scattered showers out and about, but more hit than miss here in the North Country. I think we'll change that later tonight as some rain will move on in. So we'll talk about that and a whole lot more in a bit. I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, John. Plans to improve the village and town of Turin's water system just got a lot less expensive thanks to some newly awarded state money. The Drinking Water State Revolving Fund grant will cover 70% of the cost of improvements to the village's water treatment plant, the funding totaling around $4.8 million. It will also go towards construction of a new water tower and the laying of new water lines to create a closed-loop system. Once the project is complete, it should create consistent water pressure throughout the area and could potentially draw in business. Turin Mayor Josh Leviker says he's surprised that the grant was secured in such a timely manner.
I was expecting, and the village and the town were expecting to get some sort of a grant, but not in this calendar year. You know, we just completed the outside water district and we got it in on time, but to have it all come full circle, I don't know if that's ever happened before.
Leviker is urging citizens interested in more information to stop by the village meetings. Those meetings are hosted at 6 p.m. on the third Tuesday of every month. Officials are reporting tonight that the leak has been located in Messina's ruptured water main. Divers arrived around 8 a.m. Thursday morning. Crews worked for about an hour and a half to find the leaking pipe beneath the Grass River. Officials think a tree being swept down the river may have done the damage. While finding the rupture was quick, the Messina Water Department supervisor says the project to repair the water line will most likely continue into next week.
The big challenge here is that the pipe is under the river. Normally it would be just a couple-hour job, but the challenges of the terrain have made it lengthier, obviously.
A boil water advisory continues in both the town and village of Messina. Officials say the advisory could be lifted Friday morning. A crash caught on camera. A Canadian citizen alleged to be trying to enter the U.S. illegally crashes their vehicle at the Messina port of entry. U.S. Customs and Border Protection tells us that the crash occurred on late Christmas morning. The vehicle, driven by a Canadian citizen, is alleged to have tried to unlawfully enter the U.S. via the Messina port of entry. The agency says that during the attempt, the driver lost control and rolled their vehicle. Customs and Border Protection officers responded to the scene. The driver was taken to Messina Hospital for treatment. No further details were released. Still to come tonight, your North Country Sports Report. Mel Busler brings us the bumps, sets, and spikes as the Cyclones host a holiday volleyball tournament.
Hey, Zach, the Watertown Pink Out Volleyball Tournament going on to fight cancer. That story in sports.
Plus, from City Council to Congress, 7 News' Sandy Torres takes us back through the year that was for North Country politics.
From the North Country's news station, you're watching 7 News Tonight with Garrett Dumbluski. Tonight's weather with Jon Kubis. And your North Country sports with Mel Busler.
Your winning lotto numbers for Thursday, the evening daily, 138, and the win for 1459. 2023 may have been called an off year politically with no state or national election scheduled, but it was anything but here locally as changes in those in charge in all 3 North Country counties happened. 7 News reporter Sandy Torres takes a look back at the year that was for North Country politics.
An off year in politics. One of the biggest wins of the year, the Lewis County District Attorney-elect Jeffrey Tompkins. Tompkins defeated current DA Leanne Mosier. Mosier has been the Lewis County DA for 16 years. Tompkins says he's ready to prosecute in Lewis County.
It's hard to tell right now, but obviously we'll handle things on a case-by-case basis. I don't want to say that, I'm always going to handle this sort of case this way.
In Watertown, Sarah Campo-Pierce and Lisa Ruggiero went head-to-head in a mayoral race, with how money is spent being the main debate. Whether it was a multi-million-dollar pool or $3.4 million for a golf course, Campo Pierce handily defeated Ruggiero.
Tonight, the people of our city have spoken, and through their votes, they've told us it's time to restore fiscal responsibility and make sure that we are utilizing our money to take care of the essentials first, like providing clean drinking water to residents and investing in our infrastructure.
That's why we have rules of council to follow, which you can use them to get your way even when you...
Tensions were high amongst Watertown City Council members this year, leading to an ethics complaint filed against Councilmember Cliff Only, the first time done in history.
For them to come to the finding of anything other than there may be something more that needs to be looked at more closely, I am surprised.
Ben Schoen and Robert Kimball were elected as new Watertown council members, making it Councilmember Pat Hickey's last term. In Ogdensburg, there are also new faces on council. Democrat Michael Tooley ran unopposed for Ogdensburg mayor.
Well, I'm hoping to work with council and administration to set a different tone in regards to our discussions about the issues that the city faces. One of my main themes in my campaign was let's have civility in government.
Coming on board along with Tooley are new council members. Democrats are Storm Silly, Donna Trim, Jennifer Stevenson, and Michael Weaver. There's also a new sheriff in St. Lawrence County, Republican Rick Engel. In Jefferson County, county lawmakers proposed to extend legislators' terms from 2 years to 4. It was defeated by voters, also defeated longtime lawmaker Jeremiah Maxson by Christopher Bolio. In 2024, you'll be voting people for state assemblies, state senate, for Congress, and of course for the president. Sure to be a big year in politics. Sandy Torres, 7 News.
Another shakeup for the city of Watertown in 2024, a new city manager, Ken Mix, stepping down after a storied career in City Hall. 7 News reporter Lexi Bruning spoke with him today as he looks back on his long history working for the city of Watertown.
The council unanimously came to a decision of picking Mr. Mix as our next manager.
That November 2020 announcement is one city manager Ken Mix admits he thought he'd never hear.
I had no ambition to be the city manager, but I'm glad to have been able to help out and step in when needed.
When Mix officially leaves his post Friday, he'll be leaving behind nearly 35 years of service to the city of Watertown. Previously, Mix worked in the city planning office for 3 decades, retiring as city planner in 2016. He came out of retirement to be interim city manager in January 2020 before getting the official title in November of that year.
When I worked here before, I had 3 employees coming in. City manager has 320 employees, so there's that.
Mix says his tenure had its challenges, ending with October's water main break and starting with the COVID-19 pandemic.
The aftermath of it was a challenge too, because we ended up getting the $22 million in ARPA funds. We were able to do infrastructure projects like we've never been able to do before, so it's been a challenge getting all of that done, but we're getting there.
Out of the city's 15 department heads, he hired 5 of them and says he's learned a lot about the different departments in the process. Though you won't be seeing Mix at city council meetings, you'll still catch him around the city.
I'll continue with groups like the Friends of Thompson Park, and I think I'll have involvement in the zoo board too.
Mix will be replaced by retired Colonel Arik Wagner, a Carthage native. He was a leader in the Army for more than 2 decades. Lexi Bruning, 7 News.
Jon Kubis back after the break with your full forecast.
Now, tonight's weather.
Still mild outside, and a whole lot of clouds and fog as well. Dense fog advisory for most of the area, Jefferson County, Lewis County, and a good chunk of St. Lawrence County. Visibility's potentially down to a quarter mile or less, and will expire, it looks like Friday at 1 p.m. So early afternoon, definitely take it easy if you're going to be out and about tonight and tomorrow morning. A little bit of rain in the mix as well, not for all, but a couple of scattered light rain showers showing up on the back, just speaking to how warm it is. Notice off to the west, spinning the atmosphere over towards Cincinnati. That's a little bit of snow over towards St. Louis and just west of Chicago as well. Another low over towards Boston, sandwiched in between a whole lot of lift in the atmosphere and also moisture as well. And that's why we will be dealing with that risk of rain tonight and also during the day tomorrow as well. 39 degrees, speaking of, rain being reported out of the airport. Winds from the northeast at 6, pressure is low, 2971. It's been holding steady, but it will be falling a bit later tonight and tomorrow as well. Futurecast has a great handle on the situation, doesn't it? Notice all the clouds and some scattered rain showers. Overnight tonight, tomorrow morning around 9 or so, there you see the map, and we will be dealing with clouds and fog and also a little bit of rain. Tomorrow afternoon, temperatures taking a bit of a tumble, so that by tomorrow night, you see some blue on the maps. Temperatures falling enough to support some snow, and I think the snow will eventually be area-wide tomorrow night and also Saturday morning. So don't be surprised if maybe there's a coating to maybe a half an inch to an inch of accumulation by the time you're heading out the door Saturday morning. As far as overnight tonight, keeping it mild, temperatures 39 for you in Rodman for the low, 36 in the Bay. Right around 40 in Carthage. Fog, clouds, and showers are likely. Lewis County for you, more the same, upper 30s to lower 40s for your lows. Clouds, showers, and fog for you as well. St. Lawrence County overnight, a little bit colder up Messina and Norfolk Way, 33s for your low, 34 in Ogdensburg. And, relatively speaking, mild in Wanakina, especially for this time of year. Lows around 40 with showers and some fog likely. Tomorrow morning, heading out the door, say around 6, 7, or 8. Temperatures upper 30s, a little bit cooler up towards the river. And I think we will be dealing with some light rain. Winds will be light, so really nothing as far as a wind chill to have to deal with, at least tomorrow morning anyways. It looks like Friday night turning cold, lows around 30. Saturday will be a chilly day considering how mild it's been. Highs around 32. Best chance of any snow this weekend comes early Saturday morning. I think Saturday afternoon looking mainly dry. Cold Saturday night, lows around 22. Sunday mainly cloudy and 33 degrees. Maybe some snow on Monday, another cold shot heading our way. So lows in the upper 20s, or highs in the upper 20s, lows in the lower 20s. Tuesday, mainly cloudy and 35, and Wednesday, potentially a snow shower or two. Temperatures very seasonable for the time of year. Coming up next, Mel has sports. Stay tuned.
Now your North Country Sports.
Time for your Toyota Sports Report. The Holiday Jam Fest continuing at Jefferson Community College. Another day of exciting high school basketball at the Coffeen Street campus. A boys matchup featuring Morristown against Thousand Islands. Sawyer Belial down low for the layup for the Rockets. Taryn Rosenbarker finds a lane to the basket for 2 points. Cameron Tolan from beyond the arc, all net. Donovan Pettit gets the Vikings on the board with the jumper. Taryn Rosenbarker with the rebound and the basket. It's Donovan Pettit again for the Vikings. Walker Belial with the floater in the paint for 2. The pass inside to Ty Dockstader for the layup. Final score, Morristown 54, Thousand Islands 36. Jefferson player Lakaya Butcher announcing the starting lineups for both teams, and veteran referee Paul Eppolito making sure the cameraman is ready as Lafargeville takes on Norfolk. Off the opening tip, Nate Wyatt takes it to the hoop for 2 points. Bradley Smith with the steal. He takes it coast to coast for the bucket. Avery Valance for Norfolk with the 3-ball. Nate Wyatt with the block and the steal. He takes it the length of the court for the basket for the Red Knights. It's Wyatt once again, the rebound and the bucket. Wyatt with the steal again, leading to a layup. Jeremy Schimmel from beyond the arc, got it. Nate Wyatt on the follow, final Lafargeville 93, Norfolk 27. On the girls' side, Lafargeville meeting Lowville, Chloe Gafford with the rebound and the basket for Lafargeville. At the other end, Jacayla Spence nails the tray for Lowville. Emmeline Barton with the move in the paint. Morgan LeBeau with the long-range shot buries it. Alyssa Millard with the 3-ball, all net. Third quarter, Anna Denning from downtown Watertown with the tray. Final score, Lowville 51, Lafargeville 50. Cindy Brady Tournament Championship at Huvilton, Lisbon against Huvilton. Ava Bushy inbounds to Rachel LaRock, who pump fake sinks the layup. Catherine Cunningham goes the distance for the layup. Cunningham knocks away the ball, passes to Rylan McAllister, back to Cunningham, who scores and draws the foul. She nets 17. Lisbon's Leah Warren low post passes to LaRock, who elevates in a crowd to swish the shot. Bulldogs pass around the perimeter to Rhea McGaw in the corner for three. She posts 16. Huvelton goes on to defeat Lisbon 58-48 for the tourney title. In the consolation game, Herman DeKalb against Brushton Myra. Hannah Collar to Emery Van Brocklin in the high post to score Green Demons by 20. Top of the arc, Olivia Simpser splashes a three-pointer. Collar to Simpser for another three. She scores 31. Herman DeKalb thumps Brushton Myra 64-19. Tonight's local scoreboard's brought to you by DPAO, an organization benefiting those in need, celebrating its 50th year of bringing entertainment to the North Country, always looking for sponsorships for the new year. As we speak, work is underway for 2024 schedule of events. Stay tuned for updates. Well, recapping all the local action, boys high school basketball, the Holiday Jam Fest at JCC, Morristown over Thousand Islands, Lafargeville defeats Norwood Norfolk, Canton Tournament Championship game, Canton over Gouverneur, Consolation game, Saranac Lake defeats Madrid Waddington, ESM Tournament, Watertown a winner over Whitesboro, Bishop Ludden Tournament, South Jefferson defeats Corcoran, elsewhere in boys hoops, Shelmont a winner over Carthage, Richfield Springs defeats Beaver River. Girls high school basketball, the Holiday Jam Fest at JCC, Lowville over Lafargeville. The ESM tournament, it was West Genesee defeating Watertown. Cindy Brady tournament at Huvelton, championship game, Huvelton over Lisbon. Consolation game, Herman DeKalb defeats Brushton Myra. Elsewhere, girls basketball, Beaver River over Lyme. Women's college basketball, Kalamazoo over Clarkson. Boys high school hockey, Alexandria tournament, Ontario Bay nips OFA. Islanders double up on Potsdam. Elsewhere in boys hockey, Messina over Shenendehowa. And Tupper Lake defeats Saranac Lake 7-5. Girls high school hockey, Beekman Town over Canton. Ithaca Downs, Saranac, Lake Placid. Thursday featuring the Watertown Pink Out Volleyball Tournament. A nice crowd on hand to watch the action. 8 teams taking part in the event. The host Watertown team, along with Beaver River, Carthage, Chittenango, East Syracuse, Manoa, General Brown, Lowville, and Thousand Islands. The big winner on this day, as it has been for years, the fight against cancer.
I believe this is our 11th or 12th year of the Pink Out Clash. Before that, we had our Christmas Clash. It's always a great opportunity over the long Christmas vacation to just get a chance to play a lot of volleyball. It's for the American Cancer Society, focusing on breast cancer. Recently, I learned that one of our former players here at Watertown has been diagnosed with breast cancer. So this kind of really hits home for us at Watertown.
Hey, it's the North Country's Top Bowling Series of the Week, brought to you by a great sponsor, Herringer's Contracting. The roof people who call you back. Hello there. Yes, this is Melvin. 315-782-9129. The men's high house list compiled by Hall of Famer Kevin Signor, the owner of Siggy's Pro Shop, as we take a look around the North Country at area bowling houses. Again, I think that's what they call them, houses. See some great scores being posted. How about the honor score? E.J. O'Melia with a perfect game. The women's top 10, as always, is compiled by the Pixie of Pins, the Baroness of the Boards, the Siren of the Score Sheet, the adorable Emily Basin. And as we check out Lewis Lane's junior scores, some impressive numbers by the young bowlers. And how about Playmore Lanes, huh? That's what I'm talking about. By the way, our director, Arik Hopson, doing a tremendous job of going through those boards because we were running out of time. Up next, Zach Grady.
One more mild day and then a big cool down starting tomorrow night. Lower 40s around 7 o'clock, and we stay there with rain all day long.
For John and Mel, we thank you for joining us tonight. Mackenzie, Beth, and Emily back in the morning for 7 News.